Hello guys, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Welcome back to IT Engineers 99. Today we are going to start a new series on Groovy, which is very essential for Jenkins to not implement the CI/CD pipeline. So in this discussion today we are focusing on what is Groovy, why we need Groovy, and what are the tools and areas where Groovy is adopted and widely used, and what is typing in Groovy. What are the different types of typing supported in the Groovy, like static typing and dynamic typing, and how to represent the typing in the Groovy with the data types, and what are the data types supported in Groovy, and how to classify these data types like a primitive and a reference. So we'll discuss these topics today without further delay. Let's start. Like, what is a Groovy? So Groovy is a programming language. It's a programming language. It's a programming language. Also, it's used for scripting too. That's why primarily the Groovy is designed for the scripting language. So if someone asks you like what is a Groovy? Groovy is a programming language as well as scripting language. So scripting language is very essential for us because most of the times in Jenkins we use Groovy as a flavor for the scripting part, not for the programming part. What is the differences between a programming language and scripting language? Programming language basically designed to build applications, whereas in scripting language in generally designed for testing the applications, like we design automation scripts. We design automation scripts for CI/CD pipelines and API testing, like unit testing, integration testing, system testing, functional testing, performance testing. That's why don't always confuse. Programming languages are different and scripting languages are different. So fortunately, the Groovy is implemented in the based on JVM like JDK, like Java. So Groovy supports both the compiler-based features as well as the scripting interpreter-based features. That's it supports compiler-based compiler-based features as well as interpreter-based. Compiler is nothing but the whole language is converted into binaries at time, and interpreter in the sense line by line. So mostly as a DevOps engineer in the Jenkins, we use a Groovy from the interpret perspective. Even if you observe when you write down the pipelines, we directly run it. We are not compiling the code separately. That's why Groovy is a interpreter-based scripting language. Hope you understand, and basically it supports the JDK like a Java Development Kit, and it is running on top of the JVM called Java Virtual Machines. Next, why we need a Groovy? So why we need a Groovy? Very common question. As a DevOps engineer, we use Groovy for various purpose. Like if you want to build the most complex and CI/CD workflows in the pipeline level, you can use a Groovy. A lot of people always get confused. They may always say like maybe Jenkins may not use effectively. It's wrong actually. I said in the earlier videos also like Jenkins too, if you are using in the sense, it's a purely Groovy based, guys. There is no doubt at all. Maybe if you move for the Jenkins X as well as Argo CD, these two languages are support based, like AML based scripting, right? That's why you must have a sense. Don't blindly give the statement like Groovy is not effectively used. It's a wrong. Without Groovy, some tools are not completely fulfill the needs of the development as well as CI/CD automation. So remember it. Who are using Jenkins 2 as a part of the continuous integration delivery tool in your environment? Groovy is a mandatory. And who are using Jenkins X and Argo CD? It's purely AML based. They don't require the Groovy based. Now come back, we need a Groovy to build the complex CI/CD workflows. And also if you want to build some deployment and configuration management related scripts, we can use Groovy. Even if you want to build your own specific domain specific language libraries, like especially some kind of your own customized scripts, if you want to build inside your Jenkins pipeline, you can use. And even we can use Groovy as a part of the build automation tools, like especially Gradle. So, but in simply, we use Groovy for automating the CI/CD workflow. We use Groovy for customizing the complex pipelines, and we use Groovy for various automation tasks. Right? Hope you understand. Now, come back next. So, what are the tools and areas where Groovy is exactly adopted? This is one of the fantastic questions everyone should understand. That's why you should not blindly. For example, even one of the most popular ticketing management and defect tracking and project management, agile management tool is Jira. So in the Jira, they use Groovy very effectively in order to build their own custom plugins. So and even if you go with the our Jenkins, as you know very well, we use Groovy as a part of the CI/CD pipeline, right? And also who are come from the performance side, like JMeter. So JMeter, who wants to test their applications in the performance base, they use JMeter. Suppose if you want to test some SOAP-based web services, SOAP-based as well as the RESTful-based web services, if you want to test such kind of services, we use a SOAP-UI, SOAP-UI and SOAP-UI Pro. And also, if you go with some kind of, especially from the development perspective, they use Groovy also. For example, Spring related framework, or if you want to develop some microservice related framework, they use. Even most popular build automation tool is a Gradle. Build automation tools. If you want to develop the build automation scripts in the Gradle, they use a Groovy very effectively. That's why don't simply say the programming is not required. It is completely old term, guys. Without automation, we cannot do anything. That's why Jenkins too, who are using completely Groovy is mandatory. So that's why using this Groovy, we use a web development, and to up to some extent we use mobile-based development up to some extent. And even we use mock testing. You do API testing. You do some performance testing. We do unit testing, integration testing, even functional performance, whatnot. Even it supports various frameworks. But our target is we are using Groovy for the Jenkins in order to customize, in order to implement, in order to develop more reusable. Even best example, one of the top concept is Jenkins share libraries. We use very effectively, right? If you want to develop your own libraries, if you want to develop your own shared libraries, without Groovy, it's not possible. That's why you should understand methods and some kind of calling the methods we'll discuss. That's why you should know without Groovy, we cannot imagine the Jenkins. Without Groovy, we cannot imagine the Jira related development. Without Groovy, we cannot imagine the Gradle automation. That's why every programming language has its significance in the part of the development. Next, what is typing in Groovy? This is one of the craziest question every time I'm asking you, because uh, before talking about the typing, for example, you are writing the scripts, right? Why you are writing the scripts? In order to automate your task. What are the tasks you are going to automate? You maybe check out the code from the repository, right? You maybe compile the code using different automation build tools like Ant, Gradle, Maven, NUnit, MSWell, like Grunt, Gulp, like so on. Even we do testing and we do package generating. We are going to generate the packages. Even we are doing some static analysis, right? And even we do some kind of configuration, right? So we are deploying and you are monitoring, right? You are monitoring and you are monitoring, sorry, monitoring, and you are trying to do some kind of admin related activities, even we do some kind of migration. So why I'm taking all these things? Why I'm talking about all these things? Because from the beginning of the stage to the ending of the CSD pipeline, you are always revolves around its various tools. Each and every tool is designed for a specific purpose, and we are trying to automate. For example, you are automating the data. What type of data you are automating? Suppose you are going to deal the URLs, right? And you are going to define some configuration information, and sometimes you are handling the sensitive data, right? Sometimes you are handling the IP addresses, sometimes you are handling the users information, right? So on, because these data are very very important, not automate, right? For example, if you take like Kubernetes cluster, so inside the Kubernetes cluster, you have to mention your HCD database. HCD is nothing but key value pair. So that is information. Suppose you want to handle your tagging. So even if you want to push your images to the particular Docker Hub, you need a tags. That's why don't blindly use the word on the fly. That's the reason I'm stressing a lot from the last 8 to 10 videos onwards. If you want to develop the effective CI/CD pipeline, first you understand the things. What are the different types? So this is called data. Then how this data is deal, and how can I classify this data? That's why there is a typing in Groovy. There is a typing. What is meant by typing? Typing in the sense classification as well as handling of your data as a variable based on your data types. Keep in mind. So that's why if you want to classify, if you want to classify and handling of variables based on their data types, we can use you can use you can use what a typing you can use typing. Okay, so that's why here we need to understand one key point. So without typing, it's very difficult for us to handle the data types. So what type of typing is supported in the Groovy? There are two types of typing. Like one is a static typing, second one is a dynamic typing. One is a static typing, second one is a dynamic typing. So static typing and dynamic typing means what? So before understanding the typing is used to what? Handling the variables. If you want to handle the variables, what is your syntax? Variable name is equal to value, right? But in Groovy, how this value was recognized? Through variable. What type of variable it is? How these variables are handled? Through typing. So what is a typing? One is a static typing, second one is a dynamic typing. Static typing in the sense here declaration of data type is mandatory. So declaration of data type is mandatory. Before executing the code, you have to declare what type of data you are dealing. For example, I'm using like int age is equal to 10, right? String name is equal to say something like a Srinivas. So this is my data. So that's why in static typing, you must understand what type of data the particular variable is holding. That's why when you are dealing the deployments, when you are dealing the configurations, when you are dealing the URLs, when you are dealing the any kind of data or tags, all the data is completely revolves around its specific type, right? The type is recognized before executing the script and at executing the script. It means if your data type is recognized before executing, that is called as a static typing. And a dynamic typing in the sense, no need to define the data types. No need to define the data types. Declaration is optional. Declaration is an optional. No need to. That's why how to declare the dynamic typing. There is a keyword called the def. Using def keyword, we can declare the dynamic typing. So hope you understand. Static typing is more useful because before running the script, you have a huge control on your data. For example, initially I declare 10 as a integer. You cannot change, for example, string age is equal to something like, suppose I cannot do it. I cannot do it, right? Because age is initially previously it's completely declared with the int type. So later stages you cannot use this variable age with another data type. That is completely wrong. That's why type safety. There is a technical term called type safety. So we will discuss. Okay. Now dynamic typing in the sense what? Dynamic typing in the sense what? Declaration is optional. Declaration optional in the sense no need to mention what type of data type. For example, def a is equal to 10. Def str is equal to hello. So it means based on the initialization, the Groovy is automatically understands the type of data. That's why this type of typing is handled through data types, right? Especially static typing. In static typing, we are going to handle the data types in two ways. One is a primitive data types. Second one is a reference data types. In primitive data types, we have eight data types like byte, short, int, long, float, and double, and character and boolean. So these data types are very essential if you want to deal some kind of automation script. We'll discuss. Now, reference data types. There are certain times we need to understand special data types, especially wrapper classes, collections, ranges, strings, G strings, and closures. We'll discuss all these examples one by one. But one thing I have to say clearly, typing is nothing but determining the variable type if it is at runtime. That is called dynamic typing. If it is recognize the type before execution, that is called static typing. In static typing, you have to declare the variable with the data type. Data type is used to determining the what type of data, right? That's why in Groovy data types are classified into two types. One is a primitive data types. Second one is a reference data types. Under primitive, we have integral data types, we have a floating point data types, and we have a character, and we have a boolean. And more on Groove is a sensitive language. Now you may get one question, Srinivas, where I can handle these data types. That's why you have to open a script block in the Groovy. Within the script block, we uh, have to declare data types. So first I will tell you one simple example on the static typing and dynamic typing. We'll discuss static typing and dynamic typing. I will discuss both examples so that you'll get clarity. So let us go to our Jenkins. So right now I'm going to click on the new item. Again, I'm repeating, guys. Here, what I'm trying to say, in Jenkins, there are two ways of declaring the data type to handle the variables. One is a static typing, second one is a dynamic typing. In static typing, declaration of data type is mandatory. And dynamic typing in the sense, no need to define the data type. Without defining the data type, how the Groovy engine will going to recognize with the def keyword. So how can I declare the typing in the Groovy when you are dealing the Jenkins? We have a script block. We have a script block. Within the script block only we have to declare a variable, say either static level or dynamic level. Let us go. I'm going to give suppose a Groovy data types and going to click on the pipeline because I want to demonstrate all these examples with the pipelines only so that you won't get confused. So that's the reason I started two different series. One is a Groovy and one for the Jenkins. So when I explaining the Jenkins automation scripts, if you have any doubt over the Groovy, you please come and refer this series, and so that you will get a syntactical level. And we'll discuss all kind of concepts in the Groovy, from the variable declaration to the closures in the Jenkins. Sorry, Groovy. We'll discuss collections, we'll discuss maps, we'll discuss arrays, strings, constants, for loops, while loops. Even we have a methods, we have file handling. That's how parallel will build the automation scripts in the Groovy. Okay, go back. Let's see that. Now come back. Pipeline. isn't any, and I'm going to start the stages. Under stage, I'm going to define my stage. Stage is, for example, static typing is name of my stage. I already discussed under stage we have a steps. If you want to declare a steps inside your Groovy, if you want to declare a data types inside the pipeline, we need to open the script block. Within the script block, so I want to define data types, right? So before data types, first of all, you have to understand some concepts like comments, Groovy comments, Groovy comments. There are three types of comments supported in the Groovy. One is a single line comment that's called as a two forward slash, and multi-line comments. If you want to comment more than one line at a time, forward slash star, some statements, star slash. There is a documentation comments. This is the most important like this, slash two forward slash star slash. And Groovy is absolutely inherit most of the features from the Java language. That's why in Java language also same data types, same comments, same for loops. So who come from the Java, you may enjoy the Groovy. Otherwise, no need to tense, just follow it. The first thing is I go back. So I'm giving like a single comment. Define static typing. Static typing. So for example, here I'm declaring first data type is a byte. So byte in the sense if you want to hold a smallest value inside the variable, if you want to process it, you can use a byte b is equal to 10. So here this is called variable declaration initialization. So byte b is a variable and 10 is a value, type is a byte. I'm sorry. Next, if you want to print that value, echo statement, but instead of using echo statement, use a println b, println b. So println is a Groovy methods. So b is a variable you are trying to pointing. Okay, now you may get one question. In the beginning, well, I said every data type supports various attributes like name of the data type, name is a B, type is a byte, and what is the value 10, and the lifetime, scope, default value, as well as the storage where these variables are stored. If I am not initialize the variable with some value, what is the default values are supported. This is called variable attributes. Now your question, if I want to declare some value, you should know the ranges. Suppose you are a beginner, sir. I want to know what is the range of my byte, how many minimum value and maximum value if you want to initialize it. So, what is the maximum range of data types? For example, in a single room, you cannot entertain 100 members. So, in a single room, you may have 3 or 4 persons, isn't it? Depends on the size. That's what is the size of the data type. If you want to know it, you can use println. There is a byte is a wrapper classes. That's why you should understand what is a wrapper classes, what is a data types. Like we'll see byte dot, there is a constants like min underscore value. So I given a capital letters. If it is a capital letters, most of the time it is a constant. In the Jenkins point of view, environment variables, right? The print ln byte b capital, guys, remember it. Small, all data types are lowercase letters. Byte, string, char, boolean, int, float, long, double. But there are some wrapper classes are there. Wrapper classes, the value always start from the B capital. So what is a wrapper classes? Why we need a wrapper classes? In which situation we use a wrapper class? We'll discuss. So max underscore value. So this is, I just declare a small kind like simple data type byte. We are going to store it. Now just copy and apply and save it. So here we use single line comment. We use, see, in the script block we used a byte data type. So byte explicitly we define the data types. So this is why this is called as a static typing. Again, I'm repeating, whether it is a float or int or long or double or char. For example, if you want to store the Boolean values like a true values. For example, I declare like a true. So if you want to say whether your application is deployed successfully or not, right? If you want to check the status, you have to always declare the Boolean data types. Boolean always use a true or false values only. You cannot use more than other values. Just go and run it. Just go and click on the build now. Now we got the error. Go and see why the error is coming to the picture. So hope you understand, right? So in the script block, we are going to call complete Groovy language. Keep in mind, you can call the Groovy here, right? To develop your customization CI/CD workflows, to implement your own workflows, you can maintain your own DSL blocks. Whoever wants to complete utilize the Groovy, you should open the script block and you need to develop the Groovy script here only. So let us go why the error is why error got and what's the reason for this. So that's why my videos may be bit lengthy because I can't directly execute the code on the fly. First, I have to explain the fundamental points. That's why some guys may feel a bit bored, but it is a mandatory because we are learning the Groovy, or we are learning the programming languages, right? This is a technical field. You need to understand technical things slowly. So what is error we got? When you're running the script, you got, hey, you are trying to run the some kind of Groovy script, which is generally you don't have a approval permission to run it. So that's why administrator can decide whether to approve or reject the signature, because some kind of scripts, if you are ready to ask administrator, they will accept it. Some kind of automation script may not approve by the administrator because for security reasons or for some kind of impact on your execution. Right now I want to allow. For this, you just click on this link. Administrator can decide whether to approve it or script reject. Just like approval, because as you know, Groovy can be placed either in the administration level as well as a pipeline level. If you want to administrate your automation scripts, there is a console window, is the script console, isn't it? This is called script console. Just to scroll down. See, it is asking, hey, you want to approve or deny? Just I'm going to approve it. Just click on approve it. It means that a lot of difference is there. If I speak more technically, you will get bored, but wait. So once you get this window, so once you get this error, we have to approve it. So fine. So what we did, we simply understood the importance of the data type. So this video only focus on two terms like static typing, dynamic typing. Static typing in the sense declaration of the data type is mandatory before executing the automation script. And dynamic typing in the sense no need to declare the data type. Okay, at runtime Groovy automatically recognize it. Just go. Now Groovy data types. This is our right. This is our job name. Let us go and run the script. And here there is one more type called as a dynamic typing. We'll discuss with the def keyword. And remember it, multiple times I discussed. Jenkins 2 supports the Groovy. Jenkins X Argo CD doesn't support Groovy as per my knowledge. That's we don't want to use Groovy in the part of Argo CD. That's why people get one question, why should I use a Groovy? Okay, you should not use it. If you are not using in the sense you are implementing other format, right? Suppose you are using GitLab, they'll use YAML based. You are using code deploy, they use YAML based. GitHub Action, some kind of YAML, Ansible, some kind of YAML with the Python. If you go for the Kubernetes, if I want to build some operators, you should go use Go. That's why Python, Go, and Java, JavaScript, okay, Python, Groovy, These are the common programming and scripting language used by the companies according to the various projects. So who am I to decide this is not only required, this is only required, should not say, right. According to the workflow, according to the project demand, we have to implement the automation. That's why in CI/CD pipeline, it's a combination of programming and scripting and data representation language. Keep in mind XML, YAML, JSON, and Python, right? Python, Shell, Groovy, Go, blah blah blah. These are the supporting programming and scripting language in the CI/CD. I'm not to decide. So that's again go and click now, build now. Now see, I got the second build is success because in the first build is failed because of what is the reason? What is the reason? The reason behind is approval is not given by the Jenkins administrator. That's why I already discussed two key points. One is you can write the script in the pipeline window. Second one is there is a script console. Script console is a purely managed by the administrators in order to handle the Jenkins administrative task through automation. Now see, I got the values at 10, the minimum value and the maximum value. Maximum, if your script holds the data within this range, you have to use a byte. That's we'll discuss. Like that's why a data type is you should not blindly use this example. Why should I use a is equal 10, b is equal 20, c is equal a plus b? The such kind of example may not useful. But as a beginner, we have to understand data types. We have to understand simple example. Next, suppose I want to do with the dynamic typing. Go back to the pipeline. Now I will introduce to handle the dynamic typing. Dynamic, dynamic typing, dynamic typing. I must use. Sorry. So in the dynamic typing, I must use which keyword? Def keyword. So let us introduce the def keyword in order to handle the data types. Here I want to explain a few tips to you so that you will get more interest. If you observe the earlier videos, we are completely clone the code using the checkout DSL statement as well as a git DSL statement. Suppose I don't want to use a checkout and git statement. See, these git and checkout statement are completely DSL statements. Suppose I don't want to use, I don't want to use above DSL for cloning the code from repo. So how can I do it from repo? If you don't want to clone the code using checkout and DSL, how can I? Then why can't you use a git clone raw command? Git clone raw command. Right, you can directly use a git raw commands, right? Why you cannot use it? If you observe the most of the guys are using the example like a checkout and git. I don't want. So now that's why now in this demonstration we are trying to implement two things, dynamic typing as well as some closer to the real world. Now I'm giving some multi-line comments slash star and star slash. This is a multi-line comments, guys. Okay. Now, so what I'm going to say, I want to declare a dynamic typing. So, instead of static typing, I want to use dynamic typing. So how to use dynamic typing? There is a use called def keyword. Now see, def def, I'm going to declare a variable called URL. URL is equal to, I'm going to declare my GitHub URL, https colon github.com slash IT engineers already there. Why should I type it? Go and paste the HTTPS, it's a public repository. Go back, and here within the double quotes, see, I didn't mention what type of data type, but URL is a string which can be decided by the def keyword. No need to define a string. Earlier we declared a string. Now I'm not mentioning. Now I want to clone my Git commands. So Git is a tool which is already installed on our Jenkins server. So in order to clone the code, in order to use any kind of tool related commands in the Jenkins, we use sh command, right? Sh double quotes git clone. I'm slightly using the git raw commands. Git clone. If you want to clone the code, which variable you want, what is syntax of the clone? Git clone your GitHub URL. Our GitHub URL is already initialized with a variable called as a URL, right? This is right over. I'm not using any DSL statement like checkout and git DSL statement. Now they will get one question. What is the purpose of cloning the code without using the checkout and DSL? That's the reason. If you listen my videos, I'm giving more technical tips. So I can't explain on the fly, guys. Who are really follow my videos, please note all the technical points. Each and every technical point gives some information. Now apply and now save it. Now go and run the automation scripts. So I hope you understand the discussion for this today. Our concentration is only on the basics of what is a Groovy, why we need a Groovy, in which areas Groovy is used. Groovy is a compiler based or interpreter based, and what is the typing and what is the data type, what is the static typing and dynamic typing, how many types of variables are there, and what is the def keyword and where user data types inside the pipeline script, and in which scenarios we use these two. A lot of things we discussed. Go and click on build now. Yes, my build is successfully completed with the build number called 3. Thus, in the rest of the examples, we'll demonstrate all the things in a systematic way. For this, I expect some kind of patience from you. So please, if you really like it, please do share, like, and subscribe. And hope it will work for you. And that's all. If you see the output, we successfully clone the code using the git clone. Now my question is, in which situation we use raw command instead of using the DSL checkouts? That's why this kind of question may help you, right? The question is, what's the question? In which situation, in which situation, in which situation we use git raw commands instead DSL statements for cloning. So hope you understand, guys. If it is like, please do subscribe and like it. And thanks for the time, and see you in the next series. Unless until bye bye.